Hi, this is Dave Fain from Harley Moving Productions, and today we'll be doing a strut and sway bar link replacement on a Toyota Avalon. There's the new strut. We start by removing the rear bottom seat cushion. It's fixed to the chassis by 2 points. You just take your hand and pull up on the corners, the left and right corners, just keep yanking it, and eventually it'll pop. Then you push in the seatbelt connectors down through the openings of the seat cushion, pull it up and out of the car. Now the seat belts have guides on the top, so you have to position the seat belts out of the guides. That's what I'm doing right there. Then you go to the bottom of the seat belts and you'll notice that they're bolted in. So we'll unbolt those seat belts. You're looking at approximately 3 belts that have to be detached. Now you push up on the back cushion, you push it up and then pull away towards you. The second pair of hands would be helpful to get this cushion out of the car. If you notice, there's 3 fixed points where the rear cushion hooks up. See those hooks right there? Now that will expose the 3 nuts that secure the strut to the chassis of the car. Okay, now we're back to the strut. We'll remove that 10mm ABS connector and a 12mm bolt that secures the brake line to the strut. Afterwards, we'll then attack the sway bar link. Now in this example, I'm removing the sway bar link from the top, but I could also remove it from the bottom. I'm having great difficulty removing it from the top since I'll be replacing the sway bar links with this strut. I can keep the link attached to the strut. This turned out to be a big waste of time because I couldn't get the thing off. Okay, the bottom was obviously much easier to remove. The bolt inside the link was spinning inside and I just couldn't hold it in place. But on the bottom one, I had no problem. Now I can go about removing the 2 bolts and nuts that secure the strut to the knuckle. It's good to have a high-powered impact driver because those nuts are pretty big and on pretty tight. Now you could wiggle the knuckle away from the strut, and if it won't come loose, you could use a crowbar to help facilitate the removal. When it finally detaches, it'll just drop away from the strut. Now we'll go to the upper strut mount and remove those 3 nuts. You want to be careful with that last nut because the strut could just drop right out of the car. So you could use your right hand to hold the strut in place. Just slowly pull it out. Now we're doing both the left and right side, so we're going to compare the 2 struts and make sure that we're putting the correct strut for the left side. The new struts come with new nuts on the top strut mount. We don't need that right now. And we're going to feed that through the 3 holes in the back of the chassis. it's good to have a extra pair of eyes watching or helping you align, positioning those strut bolts through the 3 holes. First one in. There's the second one. So the third one's a piece of cake. Then I'll whip out our impact driver and torque those 3 nuts down. Okay, so now we want to attach the knuckle to the new strut. So it's a good idea to get a hydraulic jack to help push the knuckle up and get the holes as close to alignment with the strut. Because without the hydraulic jack, the knuckle will just drop down. You may have to move the hydraulic jack up and down until you get the best hole alignment possible. Now we'll retorque those nuts and bolts. As I said, they're large nuts and bolts and they have to be put on pretty tight. And in this case, I'm using my Milwaukee 1/2-inch electric impact driver, which I've had for several years and been quite useful. Okay, now I'm attaching the ABS electrical connector to the chassis, followed by the brake line to the strut. Here is my new sway bar link, also called a stabilizer link. It doesn't really matter what type of link you're using compared to the fronts. This stabilizer link works on both the left and right side. So that's been torqued down. Remove the hydraulic jack and we're basically done. Just have to reinstall the seat cushions and that completes the strut installation.